Yeah, so there's a lot of kids that were on stage that were, like, they're in good shape because I should say they're in shape relative to like their skill level or their like experience level with doing shows and whatnot. But you can always tell, like, the people on stage, even the pros or any like amateur show, you can tell who like followed their diet strictly and who like kind of fucking veered off course. So it's like, and it's always the same. It's always the same thing. Like, they're waiting, they're not in shape. Their coach is telling them in their shape, and at the end they try and make up for it with like diuretics or some other thing that'll like get them in shape. So they get on stage and they look like crap. But it's just funny to me how like these guys, it happens in amateurs, but it happens in the pros as well. These guys, these people and these girls and guys will just self-sabotage themselves. So they're like, if you're my coach and you tell me 2 weeks out, I need to start doing an hour cardio a day, I'll be like, okay, right. But then I'll go to the gym and I'll do 40 minutes and be like, that's enough. You know what I mean? Or like there's the opposite of that, where there's a girl I trained, I used to tell her to do like a certain amount of cardio and she'd be like, oh, I did 2 hours instead of 45 minutes. And I'm like, why the fuck are you doing that? Like, there's no reason for you to do more thinking that it's gonna get you better results. If anything, it's just beating you down. You're not eating enough food, you're not recovering from it, right? So it's hilarious to me because this is such like a singular individual sport. And yes, you're getting feedback and you're getting guidance from a coach, but your mind will just play tricks on you. So you'll equate working harder, doing this or this, substituting that food for that food, not taking as much of this, not taking much of that. And the next thing you know, things don't go as well as they should at the show, and immediately you blame the coach, like we've talked about before, but you don't take onus on the fact that you are the one that caused the problem. And bodybuilders, for like the history of time, for the entire sport of bodybuilding, the length of bodybuilding, have been doing this. They've been fucking up their own press because they're fucking getting their head and they can't stop themselves. So they'll convince themselves like, I'm on a diet, and then you'll hear like they're coming downstairs and they'll find their girlfriend like eating like a scoop of ice cream. Like, it's just one scoop. And they're like, it was just 3 cookies. I didn't have any more. It's like, if you want to have it. But just understand, like, you're not following a plan. You're not sticking to your diet. You're not following the plan. So things aren't going to go the way you want them to go, right? So it's fascinating to me because you see these people on stage and you'll see them after and they'll go up to the judges, they'll be sitting around, they'll be like, oh man, like, what went wrong? Or what can I do better? It's like, what you could have done better is what you were told to do in the first place. Like, be dedicated to the process and do what you got to do, right? Like when you guys have like in commercial gyms, maybe you train at LA Fitnesses and shit like that, you'll notice that when you do leg extensions like this, they're like older, like Life Fitness, lifestyle, what is it? Life Fitness? Whatever the fuck it is. Anyway, quad extensions that are short, meaning when I come down here to the bottom, I don't get stretch. This thing's bottomed out. I get no pull under the pad, so I'm not getting depth, being able to swing out and stretch my quad. So this guy developed a pad that you basically, I'll send you the video beyond, it's like a half moon and it sticks to here and there's probably like 6 inches of padding. So now when you hit this, when you get on these limited machines, now my feet are way back here. So I'm swinging out from underneath and getting more range. I'm getting more reach here as if I was doing this and flying out, right? And it's a cool invention. Like, it's a cool idea. I don't know if it's an invention necessarily, because people have been putting pads there and like different foam pieces and shit like that. But the thing is, like, there's plenty of ways to create that stretch if you don't have those pads. And that person obviously thought of this as a necessity of like, oh, let's make things easier for people, or let's make a product and make money and understand that like this is the dummy way to do it, so people don't have to think about it and they're automatically stretching, right? So the thing is that when people are trying to get overstretched on machines like this, the easiest thing for you to do, if I can find this fucking thing, is if I set myself up so that I'm on the back pad. So if you come around here, we're gonna create space here. So I'm not gonna sit here and understand that I can't get any range. I'm gonna create space here and I'm gonna lift my legs out. So I'm gonna be swinging from higher hip position. I'm gonna be flinging out, almost like I'm throwing. It's not gonna be the same, but it's like if you have to improvise in the gym, I'm creating this stretch and lag. So I'm reaching under more. I'm not getting as much knee flexion, which is the point of the pad, because I'm getting pulled under here and pushing out through quad. I'm getting more kick. But if you have to improvise in a gym, there is a way to do it so that you're getting more stretch on the quad. You're gonna get a lot more hip flexor when you lift up this way and you kick out. You're not gonna get as much quad set down. But the thing is, we're trying to develop the whole quad and we're trying to develop the whole thing, right? So understand that there's different ways to do shit, right? And also that it's funny to me because the people that make the ads for the quad extension, they're telling people basically this pad is going to give you like 2 more inches on your fucking quad. But literally the quad extension has been like demonized by people, even as far as like a few years back. They're like, quad extensions don't do shit. Leg extensions don't do shit. They don't grow your legs. They don't do this. They don't do that. Squats, this, fucking split squats, all this shit. So it's like now that you have the pad and you perceive that you're getting more length or more pull, stretch on your quad, now you're saying to yourself, now you're telling everybody it's the best exercise of all time because you can make money off of it, right? So it's just a bunch of marketing bullshit. And don't get me wrong, it's a good product, but like don't get sucked into this shit where it's like now because they've added this nuanced thing to it or this like addition to it, now the exercise is more functional. Now it's gonna work better. Now it's gonna do whatever. Leg extensions have always worked. They will always work. You don't need that pad. You really don't. It's a cool thing to get if you don't have machines that stretch as far as they do. But don't understand that when you buy the pad, nothing's going to happen that's miraculous. It's like your legs will not grow just because you have the pad and you can stretch more. They'll grow because you train harder, lift heavier, push yourself more, right? So getting the pad, and then these kids who have like legs the size of my forearm, they're putting the pad on and they're stretching way under here. So now their legs are way back here when they're starting and they're like getting a full range. And they're like, oh, like there's my quad. Well, there's my quad regardless of whether there's 6 inches of padding here that's like pushing up into or whether I'm pushing against here. I'm still locking out into this extension of my quad, right? I'm not getting as much stretch, yeah, but I can control the negative, I can flow, and I can fire out. How much stretch I get isn't necessarily the best. Because there's a point when you come, there's other machines over there, they stretch deeper. This is just an obvious one that's not as good. The depth is awful. But if I understand where my tension is, I can roll here and I can keep it on my quad, and I don't have to worry about banging the stack. So I can control by keeping my weight heavy in my hips and squeezing and rolling my legs inward as I fire out. So my shin pressure is there. It's not my foot. I'm not cranking my feet and trying to kick this fucking thing up to the ceiling, reach back as far as I can and kick up. I'm literally extending out towards the wall out there, towards the Stairmaster, and squeezing forward. So it looks like I'm kicking up, but I'm pushing that way. So I'm literally dragging my shin through it with a pointed foot. So the pressure is here on my shin, pushing up through. So I can lock my leg out at the top. I don't get to the top and get this like, and you see these people like flick and then they catch the weight again. It's like, no, it's called leg extension for a reason because you're supposed to extend your leg. It's not called leg kicks. So I'm extending my leg and flexing my leg out. That's what I did. Just like if I extended my arm, that's my arm. I don't go and throw my arm out, right? I just go like this and extend my arm. It's the same with your quad. So like I said, the product is good. I'm honestly probably gonna buy it because I think it's easy to train people with. It's helping them understand, but people who don't wanna buy it or don't see a benefit, you can train your quad effectively on a leg extension. And leg extensions are literally one of the only machines in the gym that is literally isolating your quad. There is no other machine and no other exercise that's solely isolating your quad. None. Squat is not isolating your quad. Hack squat is not. Split squat is not. None of these are. They require assistance from your hamstring, your glutes, your back, or whatever. This is the only exercise that literally isolates your quad. And you have to have tension on your shin, obviously. You have to have tension down your ass. You're keeping your butt down. You're keeping your body locked. But my leg's just moving free. So in a sense, I've locked everything down so that my leg can move freely and isolate the muscle. So to say that, to now come back and tell people leg extensions are good, it's like they've always been good. You didn't make them good with your little toy. They've always been great. You've just been using them wrong, and you do them wrong, like I said. Like most people are doing this kicking and rocking and just the whole fucking stack, and they're screaming and the other guy's pulling it up for them. It's like, no, just make your legs contract. Just stick your leg out and go like this. And that's your leg extension, right there. In midair, I can do that and flex my quad. You know what I mean? It's the same thing sitting down. These guys come out with all these fucking little toys and they're like, this is gonna be the difference maker. You're still 160 pounds. Like, get on gear, dude. So, everyone knows different variations of laterals. There's these laterals, people swing up, they do all this shit. There's my style kind of out in front, rocking up through. But people don't focus on, like once you understand the movement, whether it's out here whether you like to be more upright, whatever the fuck it is, there's still a lot of strain on the hand and people don't know where to put their hand. They're either hooking their hip, hooking their hand on a grip like this, or they're pushing their hand up, or their hand's just in this weird like no man's land where they don't know where their grip is, right? And sometimes that grip of just holding your hand and ripping up through causes people to shrug more and really muscle things up. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but if we want to just get our delt to fire and like alleviate some of that shoulder issue you might have, if I point my hand down, so the same thing, so if I was pointing a gun at the ground, like holding a gun, and I pointed at the ground, my grip would be here. If I internally rotated, I'd be here. It's the same thing picking up the dumbbell. So I'm holding the gun here, I'm pointing my knuckle down, and I'm putting my hand just like that. So I've created length along my forearm. That's a straight line down to that knuckle. There's no break. So there's no curve, there's no bend, there's never, I'm pointing this knuckle in line with my forearm. So I'm creating length in my forearm, right? So I can still bend my arm, I don't need to really, but I'm creating this pointing, this knuckle's firing, these fingers underneath here are stabilizing. So the finger I'm pointing with is light. I'm gripping with these two lower fingers to keep this dumbbell tipped forward. So I don't need as much body movement, I can just get my arms swinging away and rock up through. So I'm feeling this away and down feeling because my shoulder's down in the socket, I'm rocking up through. As opposed to if I held this with a straight grip and I try to do this, it gets hard. Like I want to strain more when I get up to the top because when I get up here, it gets stiff. I don't have this lengthened feeling in my arm where I'm throwing away. So when you keep this grip of turning things in like this and relaxing, there's no position that needs to be different. I'm tipped forward from my hip, so I'm hinged in my hip, and these are just rocking. So if I keep my back of my head stiff and I keep my chest up a bit, these dumbbells just rock. It takes no pressure. And then all I do is motion out through. So I'm not trying to, people will get into this position, they'll throw, my shoulder stays where it is in my body, in the sense that I don't go here and go, I'm not trying to throw it out and get my body to reach for things. It just stays where it is, my hands push away. So my arm's lengthened, but the tension's coming from my hand being pulled here and sweeping out along. Don't overreach, right? Set the tension where it is, push those hands out. Don't think about lifting from shoulders. Hands will push and shoulder will grab, and we'll just get stuck here. And your hands will be here. So it's more of a straight line out there. So there's less strain on your shoulder wanting to bend your elbow and whatnot, right?
And do you recommend people start with the cable to kind of get their body in motion first?
I think to be honest, people doing laterals with cables, I think you should learn how to do dumbbell laterals first before you get into cable. Like, cause cable you can start really fucking with angles. I'll show you something. You're an advanced guy with shoulders, or a girl, whatever. Girls don't count. If you start to understand your angles on laterals, like if I want to alleviate this whole need of tension coming from down below, leaning back or creating this sweeping motion. So a lot of the times if people do cable laterals, they'll lean out here and they'll sweep way away. So it's this sweeping, and you have to understand pressure in the hand and be able to throw out so you don't do this pull up and rock, right? So for advanced people, this is kind of like jumping from like basic shit to hard shit. If I understand that I want to hit my delt here and I want to get this elbow up, this hand becomes a hook and becomes dead. So I don't need to use this hand as much as I need to open up this elbow and open up this delt. So I need to rock open here. It's almost like an upright row in front of me that I'm rocking with, so that I'm alleviating how much pull is on the arm. You guys have good shoulders, so it'll feel fine for you. But if I frame this in front of me and I create space in here and a distance between my forearm and my body, I'm just rocking open. I can get as much height as I want because I'm leading with that elbow and then I'm flipping that hand at the top. So I'm rocking up. So there's no tension of me trying to like, ugh. I'm also doing a light weight, right? But I'm working that top range of that lateral so that I don't need to lay on benches and lay back and go, and hold this and like have this big pull down, rip back up through. It's like, just find where you want the fucking tension to be on that delt. Feel the delt pushing out already. So I'm already tensioned here, here, and here. I'm loose here. My arm is tensioned in a frame and I'm just rocking my arm away. So I find the angle that works for me. If I want to open up with it, then I open up my chest with it to throw open wider. My goal isn't up. My goal is to the opposite cable. So I'm rocking away and throwing open on that cable. So then I end up at the top here with a delt that's being grabbed because this is all level, right?
That's how high to go, but how low should you go? So you're stopping almost.
Well, I'm just trying to keep an understanding that I don't want this whipping out of the bottom, trying to find tension. Because if I do this at the bottom here, and I do the same thing here, I have a further distance to go before I find tension. If I'm here and I try to whip into it, I'll find it, I'll pull around. But if I'm here and I start myself already leveled up, where the tension's leveled off to where it should be, I'm just rocking. So it's rocking. Same with the dumbbell. My dumbbells don't come from the ground. That's why people have such a hard time with dumbbell, because they associate it with cable. There's no downward tension other than the 40, 30, 25 pounds you're holding you're holding it midair. So it's stabilized on your body. Yes, it's being pulled down, but you're more than capable of stabilizing it because it's not that heavy a weight. When the tension's here, it's pulling me down. I have to fight against it. So I'm automatically be recruiting more than I should to move this weight. You see these guys ripping away. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's like, if you want to isolate, if I can hold dumbbells here, like we did over there, point my hand, and I can feel this gap here, and this movement of just my arm, because my delts only work when I do this, solo. My chest is not firing. I'm not squeezing my chest. I'm lifting my arms and holding up here. So I only lift my chest to elevate to get more height on my shoulder. My chest never fires. It's always caved in. So it's concave. I'm not going here on stuff. There's lifts where you do that, like we're doing here. My chest is getting up here because my chest is, I'm out in front, my chest stays up. I don't cave in and go, right? So it's just understanding frames and understanding that, like, the more advanced you get, the more you're gonna be able to feel your delt. A lot of guys have problems with their delts sitting up when they talk about this cap of your delt. So if I stand like this, it looks like I have these huge delts. When I stand still, I'm like, I just have delts, but they're not like this ridiculous thing. But if you want that positioning, you want that development, you have to fucking train in that position. So right now I'm in that position with my delt pushed out, my medial delt, and I'm moving on it. So I'm pushing this position. I don't ever, my shoulder from the side will never break back along my body line. It'll stay out here and I'll rock out to you. So I keep this arc of rocking on my delt the same way I'm gonna be here when I'm wide. So when I stand normal now, the delt pops more because I've worked on its own. It's used to being on an island by itself, right? These guys that do these massive laterals, you'll see them fucking swinging like this. They're developing their delts, right? But when you see them standing there, you're like, those could be better. It's because they've never been trained by their own. They use body motion, they use back, they use traps, all this stuff. There's not saying you can't go heavy, but just isolate the way you say you isolate. And do all that heavy shit too. But then when you're done that heavy shit and all that fucking meathead shit, come over and grab this cable. It's on 20 pounds. You could do it even less. And just find that delta move on it. So feel this barn door, I guess you could say, swinging open. So it's just opening and then down around. Opening and down around. There's no like this. It's just let my arm do its thing and rock around my delt. Because height of delt, like getting my arm up to here, doesn't do shit. It's getting my arm off my body that does shit. So all these guys you see, they do like these massive lifts and they're like, this is a dead zone. And then we're into tension again, then we're dead zone. So it's like, I wanna be tension as long as I can and then I fight it back in, right? So.
That's the most common thing you see at any big box gym too, right? Everyone's like fully stiff, hands are swinging all the time.
Well, yeah.
And that makes it look like they're working harder than they really are.
And there's like, the thing is that bodybuilders develop, a lot of the times they develop great delts or decent delts as a side effect of their pressing. So they use their shoulders so much for bench and all these other things that the front delt really develops. So they have these like big delts, but their cap delts, what I mean is like when they're at the side hitting their side shots, you see this back hump and you see this projection of this delt and this carved outness of the delt, right? So it's not just where here is, like where this is, like we want to get the whole delt. So from the side view, it looks three-dimensional. And from behind, when they hit shots like this, you want to see your delt capped here. So you want to see a cap around here, around the top of your delt. So if I'm here, I want to see that shelf of my delt in my rear relaxed. Or when I hit shots like this, I want to see it flat. I can't get that three-dimensional look by just going like this all the time. You're gonna get it on back development, stuff like that. So some guys get it by just luck. because they use it so much for other exercises. But if you notice that you're a guy or girl that's lacking that like 3D look to their delt, you need to start isolating the delt where it should be. Not where you can guard it on your body and do this and I can push off. I need to get my arm off my body. I need to rotate forward and push away so that this can work on its own. So this trap's out of it as much as it can be. Because when it's to my side, it's all trap. If I'm struggling, it's all trap and then out of my hand. When I'm struggling here, all I have is movement to get my fucking arm to move out and my trap stabilizes, but doesn't do all the work, right? So, pro tip.